It is a gorgeous night here in Bristol, Tennessee, as we get set for the 30th truck race at the world's fastest half mile. 250 laps coming up, and it is playoff racing. Let's take a look at the Craftsman starting grid for tonight's race. Jake Garcia starting on pole for the 3rd time this season, and of course his first at Bristol Motor Speedway. Starting alongside Corey Heim, the man they've all been chasing. Let's dial up our pole sitter.
Hey Jake, Kevin, and everybody up here in the Fox booth. Hey man, you obviously did what you needed to do in qualifying tonight, putting that truck on the pole. What do you need to do to turn that into a win tonight?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is keeping our track position tonight, you know, staying up front. Even if we're not always the leader, staying up front and, you know, trying to keep that track position, being good on pit road, and just limiting mistakes and having a shot at it at the end of the race. So I've got a lot of confidence in our Quanta Services F-150 and just looking forward to tonight.
All right, man, you got the best seat in the house. Good luck.
Let's check in with our pit reporters for tonight, Mr. Todd Bodine and Caitlin Vinci. Have a good night down there, guys.
Well, thank you, Jamie, and keep an eye on short track racer Caden Honeycutt. Now, he is currently below the line, but he tells me he's not worried based on the speed he's seen in that 52 truck and the fact that the transition to Homer Friesen continues to go well. But he told me Bristol, one of his favorite racetracks. He says he's had a lot of good runs here in the past. He qualified 4th, and he says, I expect to be one of the first drivers to make that move to the top. Todd?
Tyler Ankrum left Bristol Motor Speedway this spring with a solid 4th place finish and immediately went to Rockingham Speedway and won his way into the playoffs. They come back tonight to Bristol with incredible amount of confidence. They brought the same truck with the same setup. Tyler said it's driving outstanding. He loves it. Qualified 3rd, fully expects to run up front all night and have a shot to win this race. Jamie?
Thank you, Todd. Yes, Tyler seemed pretty optimistic earlier when you chatted with him. So, Joey, show us our Craftsman track description for tonight.
Absolutely. Well, you guys know it. It's a half-mile racetrack. You see just a little bit over that. The really cool part about Bristol, though, is the banking. You see there in the turns 24 to 28 degrees. The back straightaway, front straightaway, both pretty flat. So you have a huge banking transition as you get into the corners. Short straightaways, though, 650 feet goes by really fast at this place. Really fun, fast half-mile track.
Kevin, let's take a look at the race strategy sponsored by Ram. What is our strategy tonight?
Well, I think the first strategy is take the points, and all of our playoff guys are up in the front of this field, and as we talked in our pre-production meeting, you have to be able to gather those points through the stages. We know that they can run the first 2 stages without making a pit stop, so your pit strategy is going to probably be, if you're running in the front, you're going to pit at the end of that 2nd stage. And the other thing is, when does that high groove come into play? When, as a driver, does that lap time fall off enough and that top groove run in enough to be able to start ripping around the top?
How different is this track right now, guys, from the last time they were on about 4 hours ago for qualifying?
Well, what we see a lot of times is that traction compound that's on the bottom of the racetrack, and you'll see it. You're right there in the corner in the very, very bottom. You see it at the back of the field. It's a little bit darker. That's that traction compound. It's activated by heat, and it also gets cleaned up. The first few laps of this race, it's not going to be the best place to be. But by lap 2, maybe 3, it's going to lock down on there, and you're going to see all the trucks, the fastest trucks will probably be right on the very, very bottom where you see it really dark. Like I was saying before, it will clump up, it'll get a ton of rubber because all the trucks will be right on top of it. And eventually you're saying, I got to go somewhere else. I can't follow the truck in front of me if I want to pass them. I got to move up. And it's going to take a second, though, because it's got to clean up. All the trucks are on the bottom, all the marbles, all the dust, all that stuff is going to be high. You got to get up there and clean it up. A lot of risk doing that. You don't usually want to be the first guy doing it, but if you're one of the first up there, you can capitalize and pass a few trucks quick.
And I think the other thing to remember, too, is we just had an ARCA race. So the ARCA cars have been on this racetrack. We've got a little bit different rubber down on the racetrack. Obviously, it looks very clean with all these trucks. It won't take long for that to transform, but they have already had a race tonight. So that groove is spread out, and they did a good job of both in spreading the groove out in practice as well.
Let's listen to the pep talk on the 11 team.
We need some sharp stops today. You know how this place is. Stay focused and ready at all times. I appreciate all your hard work. Well, let's go, buddy. Let's have some fun here. Stay focused. Don't get frustrated with this place. And talk to me when you can. We'll get you fixed up.
8 wins on the season already. I don't think they need a pep talk, but you can hear the camaraderie in their voices.
No pressure. Have some fun.
Yeah,
Go win a race.
The thing that I thought was interesting in the pre-race was listening to Corey Heim talk about this not being his favorite track. Hadn't been a great track for him. Didn't think they had the speed that they needed in practice. And then you hear this guy talk, Lane Riggs, and he talks about how fast his truck is and how, you know, they were disappointed with qualifying 7th. So 2 different approaches in what they think they have in their trucks tonight. So we're about to find out.
2 onboards tonight. We just talked about both drivers, Lane Riggs and Corey Heim. Love this view. Jake Garcia on the inside, Corey Heim outside. Green flag is in the air, and we're racing at Bristol Motor Speedway.
Yeah, and right off the bat, Joey, I think that the lane choice was, we saw in the ARCA race, that bottom lane had a tough time getting going on the restarts, and that lets that outside truck be able to push in the finish.
Already. Trying to hang on to it. Comes to a stop, doesn't hit anything, but has to take a ride down pit lane, just like that.
And that's what we're talking about. You know, we see these mistakes. We haven't seen how this happened yet, but these are the moments that you don't want when you're in the playoffs in the middle of these things.
And you talked about it a little bit, Kevin. These guys are all pretty new to playoff pressure. And these big moves, here's a big move right off the bat, lap 1. Trying to get 3 wide underneath the 7. And yeah, just, it's tight. And that other piece too, that traction compound's not in yet, right? That grip is not there yet. And pretty early.
Another angle here of the contact between Corey Day and Lane Riggs.
And it's just one of those moments where it's probably not necessary this early in the race. And you can see right there at the end, it's like, oh man, do I want to be here? Do I not want to be here? Not really sure. And then you wind up in a bad spot. And
I mean, at that point, you're committed, right? Like once you're almost to the door number of the truck that you're inside of, you're kind of like, I'm here. And it just kind of ran out of space.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it right here. It doesn't look bad. We barely hit it, no toe out or anything. I mean, was I not there plenty? I mean, what the heck? I mean, you're out of tire. I tried to check up. Damn.
Lane Riggs was running 7th at the time, and guys, his teammate last race at Darlington, same thing. We were just a handful of laps in, and he had trouble. Unfortunately, that took Chandler Smith out.
You got to be patient at the beginning of these races to just kind of give it a lap, maybe 2 laps, to just let it play out a little bit before you really start forcing those issues. Just because things like that can happen. I mean, you're 3 wide.
Right.
Guy on the top's not very far up there. The guy on the top doesn't want to go way up the racetrack. So, you know.
But now you got to ask yourself, if you're Lane Riggs, okay, you're going to come down pit road here, probably get some tires. You slid them a lot. You may have flat spotted them a little bit. Tires don't seem to be probably the #1 issue here. But the bigger issue is now you're last. You're starting last, a shotgun on the field here. So you got to be able to, you know, look at the stages and say, okay, how do I capitalize on getting some track position, trying to get stage points? Most likely your first stage points, they're gone. You're probably not going to get them at this point. It's a short first stage unless some interesting things happen that screws the strategy all up.
See a set of tires there. They only have 2 sets of sticker tires for this whole race, and that's what we were talking about, Kevin. One stop, but then you've only got the 1 emergency set.
Yeah, this is his strategy unless you put these tires back on that he's got on the truck right now. I don't think they're bad. I think he slid. They're probably not. I mean, this is one of those moments where it's like, okay, we spun out. Let's just make sure. We probably don't need these tires, but if you do, that's what you got that you just took off.
It's not worth making a bad day worse by trying to risk it and say, oh, yeah, tires should be fine.
Yeah.
Get a chance to look at them when you take them off the truck.
Right thing to do, 100%.
Yes.
And I believe the last thing we had said was, this guy is so optimistic about his chances. Green flag drops, and around he goes.
Well, it'll be fun to watch now.
It sure will be.
It was going to be fun anyways, but now we can watch him go through the whole field.
He's just got to keep his head on straight right here, right? Like, you know, I feel like that's the thing, that you just got to take a deep breath right here, not tear your truck up going through the field. Even if you don't get stage points in this first stage, like, you got to keep all the fenders on the truck now to be able to keep yourself in position for what he felt like was probably the best truck in the field. And now you're turned around on lap 0 and starting in the back.
Yeah, we talked about strategy and all the different things that Bristol brings and the track changing and all that. What we don't talk about is how quickly things happen, right? One truck gets sideways like that. He's lucky no one else got in that wreck and he didn't get his truck torn up. Now you're in the back, you're in the soup, right? You're way back there. Anything can happen.
Everything happens fast here. When you talk, when you update something, I mean, you could talk and 3 laps go by and you didn't even get your point out yet. So you have to be mindful of everything at this racetrack.
Are you telling me to talk faster?
Basically.
I got it.
Yes, Kevin. Short
Message
and simple.
delivered.
Green flag in the air for the 2nd time tonight. Corey Heim does what he does on the first start of this race, out front. Lane Ricks spun from 7th, restarts 36th.
Yeah, now you see Jake Garcia already back to 3rd because of that outside line being able to go right by him. I think that's going to be the trend as you go through the night.
Corey Heim just keeps that streak alive. He's led in every single race this year. This is the 20th of 25 races in the Truck Series schedule.
There you go. You see that traction compound. It just came in this lap. And everyone's going to say, if you're not down there, you're in trouble. And you see Ty Majeski there in the 98. Uh-oh. You better find a way down before it's too late.
Yeah, and you can see how clean the racetrack is, and you can, as we look at these corner exit views right there, you can start to see the rubber is just starting to go down in that 2nd groove, but it takes a while for all that rubber to go down and start to push the groove up, and when that traction compound is activated, it starts to rip around the bottom.
And it's going to look like this, guys, I think for a number of laps, maybe 30 or so, where the trucks are going to all be on the very bottom. Eventually, everyone's going to wear that traction compound out. It's going to get clumpy with rubber. It's nasty. Then you're forced to start doing some other stuff. And that's when the track really gets pretty racy.
Already coming up on lapped trucks. So we see Tyler Ankrum trying to hold off Chandler Smith for the 4th spot. See Rajat Karuth there, Kevin. We talked about him in practice. He was not happy. He was the slowest of all the playoff drivers. They made a good adjustment in qualifying, though. Got him that track position. Running in the top 10 right now.
Yeah, I mean, he was 26th in practice, and right now his lap times are right where the rest of the guys are, right in the field. So even though he had a bad time in practice, it was all fixed by that good qualifying time.
Battle for 13th, Daniel Hemrick, Grant Enfinger. Hemrick answered the call earlier this season at Martinsville. Short track, got the win, got him into the playoffs. It's Corey LaJoie in the 77, racing the Cup Series for many years. He's here full-time to finish out the season with Spire Motorsports.
Yeah, and you saw Hemrick right there get a pretty good run off the middle line right there, off the corner, and be able to get by Matt Crafton with that momentum of being able to put the throttle down in that upper groove. So,
and that's where your spotter can help you a lot. Like, okay, you're getting past. Where's the gap? Is the gap the truck right behind me? Like, do I have a car length I can try to sneak it in there, or do I have to fight hard up here? Maybe sometimes it's best just to try to let that truck go, get back in line as quickly as possible.
Nice battle for the lead. Jake Garcia started on pole, lost 2 spots right away, and he's slowly closing that gap to Corey Heim, just 2 tenths behind him.
Yeah, and you see how far those guys have checked out from Caden Honeycutt. Almost a full straightaway right there, but I like how Garcia's truck, I really like that left front tire down on that yellow line, getting in that tire onto the trough. You see him a little bit up there in 3 and 4, but the longer that night goes, the more you can hug that line and keep that left front tire down there, the more that thing is going to wrap around the corner.
It's definitely stuck down there, and as fast as these guys are going, they're less than a straightaway from the back of the field already. So they're going to have to start dealing with lap traffic, and that means they're going to have to come off that bottom lane where he's hooking that apron like that.
Corey Heim, the 2023 winner here at Bristol, said this place is just hit or miss. And he said it has a lot to do with the traction compound, the time of day that the race is in. The spring race here is during the day, and then things are a little bit different here in the fall under the lights.
So this track just changes so much all the time. You know, whether the sun's out, if it's warm, if it's cold. We've seen it in the Cup Series. Just 10 degrees of track temperature makes a tire wear completely out versus last 100 laps. It's a very unpredictable track. It's really hard to wrap your head around it.
Lane Riggs trying to make quick work of it. Restarted 36, up to 23rd already.
I mean, he said he had a fast truck.
Yeah, and like I say, he's just got to take care of it. I mean, when you know you have that fast truck and you're back in the field right now, and when they get strung out like this, that's when you can pick them off one by one, when you can get into that rhythm. But being just one lane on the racetrack makes that a little bit more difficult because you have to time that run up off the bottom to be able to get position on the exit of the corner.
Chandler Smith may have an issue. Let's listen.
Copy on the engine missing. It's electrical. It like just slips off and it comes back on. Copy on electrical.
Oh man.
And in the playoffs, man, you hear a mechanical issue like that, and my heart automatically sinks, because as a race car driver, you're just in there doing your thing, and you expect everything to work, but I mean it's still mechanics, right? It's a car. It's a lot of things can happen, a lot of moving parts and pieces, and it takes a whole team to win a championship. Everything has to work.
Chandler Smith, we talked about at the top of the show, he had issues early in Darlington, so he finds himself 2 points below the cut line, Joey. So that extra amount of pressure, and Kevin to make something happen tonight and lock himself in. He does have one more shot, but now his night right now is kind of up in the air.
Yeah, and you don't want to ever, unless you're absolutely 100% into that make something happen thing, you don't want to come into these races trying to think that, because you will make something happen, and usually it's on the wrong side of the fence. So go out, run your race, and I know this is definitely not what they wanted to hear, but you just got to take it one step at a time, and if you can fix it under one of these cautions. But right now his lap times are still okay.
Well, despite Chandler's issues saying that his engine is missing, he maintains 4th right now as our leaders working their way around lap traffic. Corey Heim going around Mason Maggio. He's in for Frankie Muniz, who's out with a broken wrist.
Here we go.
Chandler Smith
way off the pace now.
Oh, geez.
Hate to see it. Trouble for a playoff driver.
It looks like it's hit or miss, right? I mean, he's not going, I mean, he goes really slow for moments, and it looks like it comes back to life for a second, but not for long. He's coming down pit road.
Caitlin, what are you hearing?
Yeah, just listening to Chandler right now, he says it's something to do with the fuel pickup when I am running the top. So the team, you can see them right now trying to lift the hood, see if they can diagnose what is going on. 2 weeks in a row now, misfortunes for Chandler Smith early in the race, Jamie.
I mean, at this point, we don't know if it's something they can fix right now and he can continue and try to salvage something tonight.
I mean, either way, right now he's on pit road on a racetrack that
Giving a
takes
thumbs up, Joey.
16 seconds to get around. He's already down a couple laps. He's going to be down 5 or 6 at least.
Look at this lead heating up. Jake Garcia trying to work his way around Corey Heim.
And this is the type of night that Jake Garcia needs. He needs to put this whole night together to be able to be up here racing for the lead under the playoff conditions, knowing that qualified on the pole, he's got a fast truck. Now it's about putting the whole night together in the playoffs with that fast truck and being able to capitalize on that. But right now that 13 truck is right there with the 11 truck of Corey Heim to be in position to take the lead.
Jake Garcia's second year with ThorSport Racing, and things have just clicked this year. We have talked about this young man so many times, and he's doing it tonight, just 0.2 of a second behind your leader, Corey Heim. Welcome back to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, live from Bristol Motor Speedway. Just 18 laps to go here in stage number 1. Corey Heim, your leader, Jake Garcia, Caden Honeycutt, Tyler Ankrum, and Ty Majeski, your top 5.
You see it happening, guys. Track's getting wide. All these truckers are finding speed as they move up the racetrack. Some because they have to pass some trucks around them, but also I think it's getting fast.
Lane Riggs, too, up to 13th. Said he had a fast truck, no doubt. Can he make it in the top 10 before this stage ends?
I said stage points were out of the question when we started this stage. There's no way you can pass that many trucks in this many laps, but boy, he's proven me wrong. I think he's going to get stage points here. 15 to go. They go by quick. He'll be close.
Yeah, you see Corey LaJoie, or
See Chandler Smith back in the pits. They're changing the ECU. A lot of work, mechanics on board this truck.
and that is so frustrating. You know, these engines are manufactured by Ilmor, and you know, you see the ECU box, you see the engine guy inside. Basically, it's a plug-and-play system, but you just never know when the ECU or...
Well, they don't even know that's what it is.
Yeah, they're
right?
just...
It's trial and error at this point. Right. It's not like they can really pinpoint what it is. They know they've looked at probably the quickest things they can see and said, well, this is the next thing they have to change.
This is one of the best battles since we started, guys. Tyler Ankrum trying to hold off Ty Majeski. Majeski trying all his might to do it, and he hasn't been able to get around the 18.
You see him moving up the racetrack. He's getting all the way pretty much to where that grind is. There's a little bit more space, but you see it's dirty up there, Kevin, so you got to be careful. You get a little bit too high.
Yeah, you want to be, you're going to want to be right below all those crumbs as you get to the top of that groove, but you want to go higher. But like you say, you don't want to be the guy that's up in the mess and knock the right front fender off when you jump that cushion.
But it'll happen quicker next run, right? We had to wait 30+ laps for it to look like it does now. The next run, it'll happen quicker because it's starting to clean up. They'll have the track sweeper at the end of the stage. Will go up there and pick up a lot of those marbles. As you see the leader really getting checked up here on lap traffic. Jake Garcia with a great chance to go 3 wide top.
Oh, he's going to...
Corey aggressive getting around Greg Van Alst, and he loses the lead. Jake Garcia to the point with 8 laps to go in stage 1.
And that's capitalizing on lap traffic. That's the name of the game here at Bristol. You catch some of these trucks at such a quick rate. You got to pick the right lane to make it happen. It's not over yet, right? Corey Heim could do the same thing right back to Jake.
Yeah, and you see Jake Garcia right there in the 13 truck as the leader. You see that baby blue truck of the 75 truck of Parker Kligerman right there fighting for his life to stay on the lead lap, and has moved to that traditional top lane that we talked about when it would run in.
That's going to be a tough truck to pass. Parker Kligerman, an experienced racer. He knows there's only 6 laps to go. He has to stay on the lead lap.
That's the second time he got to the back of Jack Wood.
And the reason that he's doing that, he knows if he goes to the bottom and doesn't complete that pass on Jack Wood, he's going to get driven by the leader of the racetrack. So he's given that shot to Jack, telling him, hey, I want the top lane. Move down. Well,
he got it. It worked. He got around the 91.
And Corey Heim's right there.
What a battle up front.
And look right behind him. Caden Honeycutt's right there. He reeled him right back into traffic.
Yeah, and I think right now this is where the inexperience of somebody like Jake Garcia, right? Like, he's running the middle of the racetrack, and you need to be at the top of that groove, being able to make lap time to be able to capitalize on that high lane speed.
This is going to be a great last 3 laps to watch here.
Jake Garcia, the 20-year-old out of Monroe, Georgia, leading his first laps ever at Bristol Motor Speedway. Guys, Jake has never won a stage.
His truck is just really good at the bottom. You see Corey Heim in the 11 trying to make that top work. He just can't really make it work quite yet, but there you see the middle of the racetrack versus the very, very top. I just think that 13 truck is hooked up.
Final lap is stage number 1 here at Bristol.
Kligerman in the wall.
Kligerman into the wall right in front of Jake Garcia. Green and white checker flag is out. Garcia picks up his first career stage win. What a time to do it. A good time for first. Being in the playoffs, What a day and what a start to this race he's had.
And Lane Riggs back up to 9th. Got stage points, a couple of them.
I love that he proved you wrong, Joey.
I'm
was
happy
that
for him.
good.
That's really good.
Pit stops, perhaps, maybe not. We'll find out after this break.
No, he didn't.
Welcome back to Bristol Motor Speedway, where we just finished stage number 1. And we talked about Parker Kligerman. He was fighting for his life to stay on the lead lap, guys. He got into the wall, and it's worth showing.
Well, this is what we talked about. You get up top, you find the speed, he's going really fast. There you see him in that blue truck. Gets up into the fuzz, right, the dust. You don't want to be the first one to dust it off. Got a little bit too high. And on the last lap of the stage, he goes down a lap. Still going to be the lucky dog, but still, you got to start at the tail end of the field versus being the last car in a lead lap.
And a lot of times right there, when you're behind somebody, you're kind of going off a feel as to where that top is, because you're trying to watch the truck in front of you. You're kind of listening to the sound off the wall. You go through the middle of the corner, but that last 1.5 feet of racetrack up there is still pretty dirty. And it's like once he got into it, it just never turned.
Right. And you don't know it's dirty until you get there.
Yeah.
Then you know it quick.
Could be a mixed bag. Look at our leader, Jake Garcia, coming down pit road, Todd.
Yeah, Jake Garcia, he's a man of few words, and it's no different tonight on the radio. The only thing he said was, leave it alone. I like it.
Yep.
4 tires, no adjustments.
Yeah, and this is going to be interesting because there were a lot of trucks that stayed out, and we were talking about it at the end of the run right there. There were a lot of trucks that were in ill handling getting ready to go a lap down.
Well, Corey Heim, one of those that stayed out. Of course, the 38, Lane Riggs, who had that problem earlier. He had taken his tires earlier. He stayed out. We'll sum it all up for you. We'll be back for the start of stage number 2. It's the game we've all been waiting for. Philly, KC in a Super Bowl rematch. Saquon leads the defending champion Eagles against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. That's America's Game of the Week, Sunday at 4 Eastern on Fox. Looking forward to that. We've got racing here tonight, tomorrow night, Saturday. Cup Series will be there, including our own Joey Logano, who's sitting here in the booth with us. It's elimination night for the Cup Series. That should be exciting.
It should be. Hopefully it's not exciting for me at all.
Nice
We'll
calm
just
night, Joey.
Cruiser through. I said I hope so. See Jake Garcia leaving pit road.
That was Connor Jones in the 41, had to check up. I don't think he knew exactly where his stall was. Then when he got into his stall, he nosed it in. They had to pit him that way, had to back up. All kinds of things happening for Connor Jones there, but he is back out. Chandler Smith, just to update him, he's 12 laps down after all of those electrical issues, but he is back on track.
You see them choosing here, so now you know. Okay, Jake Garcia, he is on 4 tires. This is a little strategy update for you. He's the first car on tires. Everyone behind that has tires as well. So what are tires worth? Kevin, we're about to find out how quickly he can move through the field and if it's going to be worth it, right? For him to say it's worth it, he has to get past the 11 truck. He pitted as a leader. You got to get back to the lead.
And right now, as you look at where this race is, we've already run 10 laps, in this stage. So we've got 55 to go. So definitely a shorter run than the last stage under green.
I still want to keep my eyes on Lane Riggs. That truck came from last to 9th. Now he's 13th here on the restart with new tires. That could be the truck moving forward here.
Here we go as the drivers approach the Echo Park Automotive restart zone. Corey Heim on the outside, Tyler Ankrum on the inside. A great restart once again by Corey Heim. Caden Honeycutt is right there in the 52. Corey Day in the 7 truck doing a nice job. That truck is in the Owners Championship playoffs.
Yeah, right now, just like you talked about it, the high line right there, you're seeing a lot of guys already up the racetrack. So like you said, that line is going to come in a lot sooner than what it had earlier in the race.
I still expected to take a few here on the start, but as you see back in the pack, there's not really many options. Right? You can't get single file even get to the bottom.
So Jake Garcia, the first driver on fresh tires, he's back in 11th. No chassis adjustments. Made an air pressure adjustment. Said the truck just needed a little bit more. Wanted those fresh tires. There he is with Lane Riggs looking to the outside of Garcia.
That's a gutsy move, Lane. I don't think you want to go 3 wide yet, right? Yeah. Still got to get to the end of it, but he's just going to go wherever Jake is not, trying to make some speed.
Yeah, and we've seen Jake's truck all night be better.
Ooh, he missed the bottom there.
Yeah, he missed it straight up the road.
Lane Riggs gets around Jake Garcia, takes over the 10th spot. Ooh, they're trying to make it 3 wide with Daniel Hemrick. Garcia off the pace a little bit, Kevin?
Yeah, it looks like, I don't know if he thinks he has a tire going down or something else going wrong, but
definitely off the pace. No
Oh,
power steering.
gosh, if I had a nickel for every time I heard no power steering at Bristol. It's the track that it happens the most, and it is next to impossible to drive a car around here with no power steering these days. These trucks are not made like they used to be when they didn't have power steering. They rely on it, and there's so much pressure pushing down in that banking.
Blown a motor or something.
Oh, maybe it's even worse.
283.
Oh, heartbreak for Jake Garcia. Started on the pole, led 14 laps tonight, brought it down. You heard Todd say he didn't want any changes. The truck was so good. They just wanted fresh tires, and now a bigger issue perhaps.
Second mechanical issue for playoff drivers tonight.
And things could have been a lot worse for Lane Riggs. Took care of it and has just battled his way up into the top 10. Great battle for 3rd. Caden Honeycutt, Ty Majeski. You really expect Ty Majeski to excel at these short tracks. Still winless this year, guys, which is so surprising from the defending series champion.
Yeah, and I go back to last race at Darlington. You know, they had the issues, battled back, put themselves in position for a solid finish, and those guys are going to grind it out. And when you see things like we're seeing tonight with Chandler Smith and Jake Garcia with the mechanical issues that you had, it always seems like when we get into the playoffs that those things happen to the playoff vehicles, and tonight has been no different as we've got to the start of this race. But it's just don't beat yourself, right? That's what we said at the beginning of the race, and Ty Majeski and
he just dumped him.
Oh, around goes Tyler Ankrum into the wall. Caution is out for the third time tonight. We'll have to take another look at this.
And Ankrum got really lucky right here that truck is not destroyed. I mean, it's got a little bit of damage to the back bumper, but he's gonna be able to keep going. But that is usually a rear clip right there, Joey.
Yeah, he's lucky his truck looks good. Let's look at what happened here. You see a run from Caden Honeycutt off the top, and just I drove in the back of him.
Yeah, and I think that Caden was in a position to where, hey, I've got a ton of momentum. I've got a ton of momentum up on the top side, as you see the 18 spin right there. I've got a ton of momentum on the top side, and it's just, you know, sometimes how you hit him in the back bumper, but he stayed on it.
He got him.
40 laps to go in stage number 2. Under caution for the third time for this incident, Tyler Ankrum spins. Corey Heim, hands down, he is the favorite for the championship this year.
What we're trying to do is elevate ourselves to get to his zip code, and once we get there, to be a contender.
They are beatable, obviously, and it's crazy to talk about a team or a driver like that. They've shown cracks within their armor. You just got to take advantage of when they show them.
In general, we've been the truck to beat, the team to beat. At the end of the day, if you can make it to Phoenix, you definitely got a shot.
Well, you guys, Kevin Harvick, Joey Logano, have both been in Corey Heim's shoes, and you guys have had the target on your back. What is that like when you're just, it's like you can't do wrong?
it's awesome.
Yeah, there's nothing better. Yeah, and when you have that target on your back, and it's almost addicting, right? Because of the fact that you want to keep that streak going. You want to keep pushing to the point of, okay, we're in this zone. How do we get these details better and better and better every week? And that communication just is so good that you can analyze and analyze your truck to be able to make the right adjustments, to make the right pit calls, because the confidence is so high.
And it's so much easier too. Like, you're starting ahead already. So you're not like panicking. It's like, okay, we can like think things through, make small methodical changes, thinking, you know, like not just winging it, saying, gosh, we're so far behind, just throw the kitchen sink at the thing. You can just be really smart and slow and think about stuff, and you just keep stacking.
Meticulous, Joey. You can be very meticulous.
Yes, that's what you can be.
That's right.
It's a good place to be.
Well, he's certainly in all of his competitors' minds and has been all season long. 8 wins on the season, looking to tie the most wins in a season record that was set back in 1999 by Greg Biffle at 9, so he can easily match that, if not beat it, this season.
Okay, so easily.
The way he's
not easy to do, right? But he
makes it look easy.
It.
And he certainly dominates each race, whether it ends up in victory or not. It's been one of those years for him. Here we go once again as the drivers approach the Echo Park Automotive restart zone. Corey Heim once again on the outside. Caden Honeycutt on the inside.
That bottom lane did not go on the start. You see the first 2 rows get cleared, and Lane Riggs looking to go 3 wide on the top. Ooh.
Oh, man.
Jeez.
Look at Gio Ruggiero has entered the party.
What a huge move by Lane Riggs. Super risky, but moves him up to 3rd. Remember, he has the new tires on that truck. He's trying to capitalize on that.
What a night for Lane Riggs. Had to restart 36th after going around on lap number 1. Here he is, up into 3rd with his eyes set on Corey Heim.
And he's been one of the trucks that's making that top lane work the best. And on that restart right there, you saw the move that he made. It was definitely tight, but his truck is really fast right now, Joey.
He moves into 2nd just like that.
Yeah, he's making the big moves. His truck is fast. We saw that the first stage, but we also know he has, what, 70 lap newer tires or so on that thing? That's helping too. Here's the move on the restart. You see him get up there in that grind where that grip is and gets to the outside of Gio. Oh, man. That's when you come off the corner and go, gosh, I hope he knows I'm there.
Yeah.
And I hope the car on the bottom, right, the 3-wide bottom car, knows that you're there.
Well, these front row motorsports trucks have been really fast over the start of these playoffs. I know it's only 1 week old, or 2 weeks old, but both races, and even before we got to the playoffs, we saw the speed really start to develop out of these trucks to be able to compete with Corey Heim. And we think that, I mean, tonight I think Jake Garcia had a truck that was competitive with Corey Heim, but Lane Riggs thought that he had the best truck, and we think that he's one of the only trucks that can consistently compete week in and week out head-to-head with Corey Heim.
Oh, he's so fast up top.
Last race, Lane Riggs had the best truck, led 71 laps. He had that issue, he had a right front flat toward the end of the race, gave the lead over to Corey Heim. Corey got that win, and what a battle it's heating up here for the lead. Lane Riggs wants to take it. Corey Heim on the outside fights back.
The lane started getting the top rolling well. Corey Heim saw it and responded and moved back up there. Now they're side by side.
Short track racing at Bristol. What a battle.
And Heim held him off for those first couple of laps when he wasn't used to the rhythm of running up top like Lane had already been in. But he was able to fend him off, and I think he's going to have to stay up there if he's going to keep him behind him.
Majeski's right there.
Just can't make that bottom work.
Oh, that bottom, like it's right in the moment where the track's transitioning. Is it the bottom the fastest? Is it the top that's the fastest? And you see that they're kind of making these split decisions. And Corey's, I think, keeping Lane guessing back there. What lane's he going to be? Where do I got to go?
Yeah, and right now he's bottom of 1 and 2 and top in 3 and 4. So, like you say, Joey, it's in that tweener phase of whether you want to run the top or the bottom. But he's definitely chosen the top in 3 and 4 as the preferred lane.
There you go. Lane goes to the top this time at 1 and 2.
And they're definitely very different corners as far as the top from 1 and 2 to 3 and 4. Kind of a little sharper corner in 1 and 2 than 3 and 4, I think, as far as the radius. But you've got some bumps in 1 and 2 in the middle of the corner and on the exit of the corner that make it a little more difficult to navigate up around the top. But once it fully rubbers up, the top is usually the dominant lane on both ends.
You see that happening right now, and this is what makes Corey Heim so good, by the way, is he knows he's trying to hold off a truck that's obviously faster than him right now, whether it's tires or handling, whatever it may be, but it's faster. And he's doing a tremendous job at understanding where Lane was making the speed and how can I make his life hard to try to pass me.
Remember, Corey Heim has yet to pit. He's on those original tires. Lane Riggs.
And that's where Lane is going to make the pass if he's going to make it. It's going to be a big run off the top of the corner, or off the top, and try to shoot underneath by carrying that momentum early down the straightaway. But
and the other piece that can happen here as well is you see these trucks still racing side by side, lap traffic. Yeah. This always happens at Bristol. When you get two trucks, it's really hard to pass on the top once the top starts getting going like this. You see them there in front of them. You use them as a pick, right? You try to just be side by side. When you get to another lap truck, you use that one as a pick. Maybe you can get by them.
So Lane Riggs, 70 lap tires, or pitted on lap 74 tires, pitted again on lap 90, just took fuel only. How much of a difference is that making now when we're looking at 16 laps remaining in this stage?
I mean, he's definitely got the faster truck. It's just on the bottom of the racetrack. He can't let that truck run all the way to the wall to carry that momentum up off the corner. So he's just got to be patient with the throttle. But this is where that's where he's gonna make the pass. Like Joey said, it's gonna be in these situations where you get in traffic, where the 35 truck is in front of him, and it's just the timing of how you catch those trucks.
That's what he's gonna try to do. He's gonna try to pick him, hope that lap truck went to the top. He did not, which doesn't work for Lane, but that was a good move, right? Try to get Corey to where he's stuck in one lane, and you hope that the lap truck goes to the spot that helps you clear him.
Yeah, and I think right now, the 11 truck, even though he wants to run the bottom in 1 and 2, the last thing he needs to do is let that 34 get to his right rear quarter panel.
Then it's over.
Yeah, then it's over.
As I say, he's doing a great job, and the art of trying to keep a faster truck behind you, it's a hard thing to do, especially at Bristol. Things are happening fast.
Ooh, that was tight. And that was one of those moments where he got away with being able to get to the bottom of the racetrack because the lap truck was running the top, but that was a tight moment right there, squeezing down on the 34.
Well, he's only got to do it for another 10 laps.
This
it's going to be hard to do.
Amazing to watch, Joey. It's fun to hear you talk about working their way through lap trucks and how difficult that is, because you don't know what they're going to do if it works in your favor or against you.
All right, and they got a few laps of some clean running right here with no lap trucks to deal with, which I think plays into Corey Heim's favor, because he can just keep this top rolling, and it's going to be really hard for Lane to be able to clear him.
Ty Majeski back in third has slipped back quite a bit.
Here's his chance. Here's his chance right here. And this is what we were talking about. And now he's able to, that half a truck length that he needs to make up in the middle of the corner, he was able to do that because he was able to tuck down early down the straightaway. And that's, to me, that's the sign to Corey Heim. Don't come off the top of the racetrack in 1 and 2.
Right.
7 laps to go in stage 2. Heck of a battle up front with Corey Heim, Lane Riggs. Lane had to get here from 36th spot.
Yeah, I mean, if Heim doesn't make a mistake, he's going to have a really tough time finishing that pass. And I think if you're in Lane's boat, you got to be able to make it up 2 feet at a time, right? How can I? And you're seeing that right there. Now I'm able to side draft at the door, and now I'm going to make up another little 2-foot segment in the middle of the corner, but gave it all back right there. So it's 1 foot at a time, trying to manage that pass to make it move forward.
And you get the lap truck in front of you here, which looks like he's committing to the bottom, which is not going to play into Lane's favor. It's more to Corey's most likely.
That's Spencer Boyd. They're working their way around.
Then you hear Corey's truck all over that rev limiter as he's getting all that momentum. We heard him hit the rev limiter in qualifying earlier today, but now you're off the top of the corner. Even this late into the run, that truck is still hitting the rev limiter at the end of the straightaway.
By the way you run the top here at Bristol, it's like a whole different racetrack. The way you drive it, what you need out of your car, it's like going to a different place.
Spencer Boyd so close to both drivers. I don't know if he had contact with the 11 moments ago, but pretty close to the 34. Final lap of stage number 2. Biggest lead Corey Heim has had in the last 40 laps here. He gets it done, picks up stage number 2. Lane Riggs, hard-fought battle, ends up second.
That's a tremendous job by Corey Heim.
Yeah.
That was not easy to do. I know sometimes things just look easy, but I can tell you firsthand that's a hard task to hold back a truck that's faster.
He's pretty good, Joey.
He is.
Yeah.
He'll be around for a while.
17th stage win of his career. Corey Heim gets it done. Big weekend of racing here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Tomorrow, a full afternoon of action with practice and qualifying for Xfinity and Cup, followed by Xfinity Series playoff opener at 7:30 Eastern on the CW. Looking forward to that, Joey. We're just talking about your plans for tomorrow and what's on tap. I know you've got a nice points cushion in the playoffs, but certainly not an easy one for you.
Not as nice as I would want it to be, but it is above the cut line at the moment. And, you know, we talk about here tonight about all the things that can happen at Bristol and it being a cutoff race. They set the schedule up like this on purpose, you know, just so no one ever feels comfortable. And, you know, I think probably Jimmy Johnson said it best. I heard him say it one time that the playoffs is just basically 10 weeks of hell, right? It is hard. It's just a tough grind throughout the 10 weeks. And but you'd rather have the pressure on you than no pressure on you. It means you're out of the playoffs. So you want to have that pressure for 10 weeks. So hopefully we can have a solid run with our car and be able to score the points we need to, move on to the next round, get a good reset, get them out.
Here we go, pit stops.
They're coming your way, Todd.
Yeah, 98 Tymajeski not happy with his truck right now. He says really loose into the corner, When it lands down in the corner, it's pushing, actually chattering the right front. So lots of adjustments for Ty Majeski. Caitlin?
Well, Todd, not a lot of adjustments for Corey Heim, stage winner, race leader. He said it was a little tight at the end, but they're electing to not do adjustments from Scott Zipadelli. What about Lane Riggs? He says, I have to be tighter if I'm going to race with Corey Heim, but I feel like this truck, it is really close. You're seeing the 34 there at the bottom of your screen. Caden Honeycutt in the 52, having a solid day so far. He too is saying a little tight all the way through the corner, both ends for Caden Honeycutt. Jamie?
Yeah, no adjustments for Corey Heim. They're going to work right now on that 11 truck.
Yeah.
Won the stage, led 122 laps tonight, Kevin.
Well, we've talked all day. Now we see all these pit crews on pit road. Who's going to be able to put it all together and make it happen?
Lane Riggs' team getting it done right there for him. One position gain for Lane Riggs. The third and final stage from Bristol Motor Speedway. Coming up, it's playoff night. You know it's a special night when Kevin Harvick, Joey Logano are your analysts. They've done some winning here at old Bristol Motor Speedway. Fun reliving these moments, guys?
Trying to remember them. I like it.
Love that celebration. Oh, and the dirt win, Joey.
I didn't see that one coming. I'm going to be honest with you. I never raced dirt in my life, but that was cool.
No, it wasn't. It was terrible.
Oh, well, I had fun.
Dirt.
I was able to see good.
You
I
won.
had good, clean air.
I'll never forget that weekend I decided to run the truck race, and they had those heat races, and it had rained, and they threw the green flag, and I promise you, there had to be 3 inches of mud on the windshield. Couldn't see, couldn't do nothing. I already didn't want to be there on the dirt, and I'm like, why am I in this truck race? And now I can't see, I'm going to die.
I remember watching that.
I couldn't see anything.
That was fun to report on. Fun to watch is something totally different. We learned, got a little bit better the next year.
Well, how about the leader right here, Cole Butcher, ASA Super Late Model National Points Series champion.
Truck Series debut, Kevin, and he's leading this race.
Debut on old tires. Right here, we are going to see
chaos?
See some chaos, but...
And he chose the bottom, which means he hasn't been here before.
Probably right behind him. Lane Riggs on the outside. Yep, inside lane does not move. Tanner Gray, we're told he took fuel only, no tires. He got his tires earlier on that lap 90 caution. He's in second. And there's Ty Majeski making his moves, trying to take away second.
You see Corey Heim lost a ton of track position there, choosing behind Butcher, and that's going to set him back all the way to 7th place.
Yeah, and they already had a little bit of a slow pit stop, put him out in 4th place after coming in the leader. So that bottom lane stacking up with Cole Butcher right there on the restart definitely hurt Corey Heim.
You see Butcher all the way back to 13th, still dropping a couple more spots. Meanwhile, though, Lane Riggs out front leading for the first time tonight. He worked so hard trying to get the lead for the first time from Corey. Couldn't get it done, but his pit crew got it done. He's out front.
Yeah, and you see Tanner Gray right behind him. They put fuel only in. They pitted on the same kind of strategy, I believe, that I guess it was 94 was the last time right around there that they pitted for tires. So Tanner Gray came in, put fuel only, got the track position. That's why you saw him gain 16 spots on that restart.
Look at the playoff leaderboard right now. Jake Garcia, who started off so strong, had the electrical issues, 14 points out right now. 52, Caden Honeycutt came in. He was 7 points out of this thing. Now he is in where he runs.
And this is where you got to be a smart racer. 104 laps to go. Most likely you're not coming back down pit road. These are probably the tires you're going to end the race on. You got to make them last, but you got to keep track position. If you're Lane Riggs, you got a fast truck. No sense of getting way out there. You're most likely going to see a caution before the end of this thing. You're going to have to refire on these old tires. Be smart with it. Make them last.
Yeah, and to do that here at Bristol, it's really just making sure that you're not grinding the front tires off the thing. Don't snap the truck sideways when you're up off the corner. Let the thing roll. Just give it a breath through the middle of the corner if you're Lane Riggs and trying to take care of your truck.
And now if you're Corey Heim, you're 7th, you got to go.
Yeah.
Like you got to get some track position back. You lost all of it. You're going to have to try to find something. You're not going to win from where you're at right now.
Guys, we've got some new players up front. Ben Rhodes, first time we've been able to talk about him tonight. He's up into the 3rd spot. There he is right there in that bright, what'd we say, Kevin? We couldn't decide if it was orange or red.
We're going to call it fluorescent orange. Campers in on the side of that truck, which is longtime sponsor of the sport. Always a great supporter of a lot of the drivers in the infield, but I like those bright trucks.
Yeah.
It's for a blind person like Jamie and I, it's a lot easier.
Yes, Kevin.
To be able to see. Thanks for leaving me out of that one. I appreciate that. My prescription isn't as big as yours.
Well, you're young.
Are you sure?
I think so. Here's a pass.
Ben Rhodes has come to life.
Same thing we see there. Tanner Gray recognized that Ben was making speed up at the top and tried to take that lane from him. But I do think Ben Rhodes has got a pretty fast truck right here at the moment.
Yeah, and you see Tanner right there, and that's just kind of that Bristol inexperience. There is no lane right there.
You gotta go one or the other.
You gotta either be all the way on the bottom or all the way on the top. There is no 2nd lane. There's no 3rd lane. It's the 4th lane at the top or all the way against the wall or all the way on the bottom.
Ben Rhodes started this race 19th, doing a great job. He's got Lane Riggs in his sights. It's been 54 races since Rhodes has been to victory lane since 2023, the 2-time champion.
His truck is fast right now, Jamie.
Maybe tonight he ends that streak, Kevin. 94 laps to go from Bristol. Lane Riggs out front for the first time tonight. From the back to the front, he went. Saturday strong with Big Noon. It's a new era. Quarterback Dante Moore leads fourth-ranked Oregon's explosive attack into their first Big Ten matchup. They're taking on Northwestern. It all starts at 10 Eastern, live from Evanston with Big Noon kickoff. It's Oregon. Afterwards, Northwestern, only on Fox. Racing, racing, and racing. We got college football. We've got NFL on Sunday. And we've had a great battle tonight. Lane Riggs out front. Corey Heim back in 7th. We mentioned on pit road, lost a few spots. Then on the restart, got shuffled back even more. Lane Riggs is liking his view.
And it goes to show what track position means, right? Corey Heim led a bunch of laps, looks pretty good. I would argue he was better than a 7th place truck. And here he is trying to move forward some, but gosh, I would have thought by now he would have passed a few trucks, Kevin.
Well, it's just like earlier in the situation he's in with Perez right here. It's the same kind of scenario that he was in with Lane Riggs, and we felt like Lane was way faster, but he just couldn't finish that pass like you saw Corey Heim do right there. But it's really hard to be able to finish that pass when you can't use the whole exit of the racetrack from the bottom when the top is that wound up.
Andres Perez in that 44 truck has done a really nice job tonight. He's done the last few races. I feel like we've been talking about him in the top 10. This is a brand new team he's had to get used to. Came over from Spire. Now he's racing for Nice Motorsports. Great battle with Daniel Hemrick.
Yeah, Daniel Hemrick knows how to win a championship as well, right? He knows, he's experienced, he's been there, done that. And when you get into these playoffs, it's important just to stay calm, right? And I feel like that's Hemrick, right? I feel like there's no high, there's no low. He's just kind of even keels guy, and he just kind of survives and gets through. Get to the next round. And here we go, racing for the lead.
Battle for the lead. Ben Rhodes trying to get around Lane Riggs. Here we go again with the lap traffic, though.
Yeah, and you see that 62 truck that started on the pole right there to fire this stage off. Now you see those tires and things coming into effect, and he's actually a lap down now. But this is when the things that we talked about earlier, the lap traffic can mix up these leaders by giving them an opportunity high or low. And right now Lane Riggs has held off Ben Rhodes.
And these trucks are just killing the chip here when they get up here. Listen to this truck get down into the corner here. Oh. We're going to try again. I mean, it's laying in that chip. And that's just the speed difference from the bottom to the top. And you get it up there and you get it wound up. That's just so much speed they carry down into the corner.
These two have just checked out, you guys. Ty Majeski back in 3rd, Tanner Gray, and then Corey Himes in 5th, only made up a couple of spots since the restart.
Yeah, and we saw this earlier. A lot of times the lap cars are a little bit harder for the leaders to pass than they are for the 3rd, 4th place trucks. But these leaders got into lap traffic the first time. But I think the difference is that time Corey Heim was kind of holding them up, and he was kind of the jammer car to keep everybody stacked up. Now they're catching the lap trucks, and everybody's got the same tires on the vehicle, and it's a little harder for them to catch up.
71 laps to go here at Bristol.
But I think this is where Ben Rhodes is doing a great job right now. Just keep the pressure on him. Stay close enough to when you get those lap trucks. Maybe they'll be racing 2 wide, maybe there's 3 or 4 of them in a row, and they're all trying to stay on the lead lap. And then you can just do something different than Lane Riggs and capitalize and try to gain control of this race. Guys, I think if Ben Rhodes is able to get the lead, I don't know if Lane Riggs is going to be able to pass him back. So it's all about just the battle of trying to gain control. Even if you may not be as fast as that 34 truck, stay close enough to capitalize on an opportunity that might come your way.
That's the key. Being there when that opportunity is there by not making a mistake. And
we saw that with Jake Garcia in the first stage.
Right.
It got caught up in lap traffic. Corey Heim did, and bang, he pounced on that opportunity, won the stage.
Settled down just a little bit for now between Lane Riggs and Ben Rhodes. We've had 4 different leaders tonight. Corey Heim has led the most, 122. Lane Riggs, 43 now and counting. Jake Garcia led 14 laps earlier. And Butcher making his Truck Series debut, led 4 laps. We'll be back from Bristol as Lane Riggs continues to lead. What a day it has been for your leader, Lane Riggs. What a night. This was lap number 1. He was so positive and optimistic going into it. Keeps it clean, comes down pit road, puts tires on it, restarts, 36th, and battles his way through the pack on the outside multiple times. Joe, you're like, whoa, 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 but it worked.
And he's been making big moves all night long, capitalized on a lot of them. Now he finds himself in control of the race, all the way from the back to the front. But I don't think he's got an easy task here. Ben Rhodes is hanging with him. He's trying to, at the moment, he's lapping Grant Enfinger, which is going to be a tough one to lap. You see all those trucks there in front of him. It's allowing Ben to close that gap, possibly.
Grant Enfinger, one of our playoff drivers, had an issue earlier. He had a pit road penalty on lap 93 for too many men over the wall. He fell out of the top 20, and down a lap he goes.
Yeah, and those trucks, I mean, Grant did a great job last week at Darlington with his experience and getting a solid finish, but that truck has not been as fast this year as what we saw last year. And for him to get lapped at Bristol, pit road penalty or not, is not something that we expect out of the performance of that 9 truck.
This really put a lot of gap between the first and second place truck. You see over a second now.
It's the biggest lead we've seen all night long.
Yeah, and where I thought Ben Rhodes was the best when he was pushing that groove, Joey, really trying to wrap the top of that black, and that to me was when he was making the best lap time and able to actually run Lane Riggs down the first time, and then he went back to the bottom of the racetrack, and now we've gotten into some lap traffic, and he's lost a second, but felt like his truck, his best case scenario for him was running right at the top of that black and almost trying to push that groove just a few inches higher.
Yeah, something here at Bristol you want. It's a versatile truck, right? You want to be able to run the top and the bottom because you're going to be forced to run multiple grooves, especially as you get to lap traffic. The other thing too is you run a lot of laps at this point. And that truck fired off really fast.
True.
A lot of times if you have a lot of fire off speed, sometimes you're paying the price on the long run, whether it's setup or air pressures, whatever that may be that caused that. Sometimes you got to pay the piper at the end of the day. it might be what's happening right now for Ben Rhodes.
See Corey Heim right there. Guys, he has been trying with all his might to get around his teammate Tanner Gray. He's 6-7 seconds back from Lane Riggs. What a change from what we saw in stage number 2.
Yeah, and unless something drastic changes, I mean, in reality, he's got the opportunity to probably pass, you know, the 2 trucks in front of him, but definitely not the speed that we thought that 11 truck had in it when he had the track position and had control of the race. But it was okay because he could defend, even on the older tires, he was able to defend and win the second stage. But you know, this really shows the difference in being in control of the race and having the, you know, the cleaner air and everything at the front compared to being 4th, 5th, 6th back in the pack. It becomes tough sledding when you don't have a perfect truck.
Yeah, it goes to show that if you're going to move your way through the field, you have to be superior. You have to be way better than the trucks around you. The competition is so tough, it's so hard to pass that you can take what Corey Heim has right now, probably a 2nd place truck, and you can place it 8th, and it's going to stay around 8th. You can place it in the lead, and it can maintain. It's going to be hard, right? You got to play some serious defense, but that's what we're seeing happening right now.
Tanner Gray has been impressive. 26 years old, out of New Mexico, just became a new dad this summer. Finished 6th at Darlington, had one of his best races of the year, and here he's doing it again.
And they had a bold strategy to get up there.
True.
Right. The other truck that had a similar strategy was Butcher, right, Kevin?
That's right.
And so he went down a lap. So it shows that Tanner's doing a great job making these old tires last. Now, if they're going to fall off, it's going to be coming up here soon if they get down to the cords, right? If all the rubber's gone on the tire, it will tank, right? It will really fall off. But if he can maintain, even if he loses a spot here to Corey Heim, it's still a win, right? He still moved up because of the strategy, and he was able to maintain, possibly get a top 5 finish.
Yeah. Caitlin, what are you hearing on Daniel Hemrick?
Well, Joey was talking earlier about the experience of Daniel getting a championship in the Xfinity Series, and I actually spoke with Daniel and his crew chief, Kevin Bellicourt, about that exact thing today. Kevin saying he's always been paired with inexperienced drivers until now, when that change was made several weeks ago, and they feel like the 2 of them together have been able to get up to speed much quicker with that learning curve. But Daniel loves this racetrack. He did say it is the most mentally taxing place that they go to, and he also noted how physical it is as well. So Kevin and Joey, how mentally demanding and physically demanding is this place?
I always found the physical side for me was more than the mental side. I mean, it's still very mental with all the I guess from your head standpoint, it's more the bouncing. I always found that I felt like my eyeballs were floating by the time that you got to the end of the race, just because of all the bouncing that you had. But you never really have time to rest. I was always one that wanted to relax down the straightaway, and here you just have such a short amount of time to be able to relax from all that tension in your muscles and arms and neck and all the things that go with Bristol, because it's just the straightaway's straight for a very short amount of time, but it's not very straight because of the way that, especially when you run the bottom of the racetrack, you come out to the wall and right back to the bottom.
Yeah, there's a lot of G-forces, and you're pushing these things.
That's right.
And there's a lot of downforce on these trucks too. Like, you're ripping, and it gets you.
One of the best battles on the racetrack. Corey Heim cannot get around Tanner Gray. You look on the pylon, only 4 of our playoff drivers are in the top 10. Got 34 laps to go. Stay with us. to Bristol Motor Speedway, where Lane Riggs continues to lead here, looking for his 3rd win of the season. These laps are flying by, guys, just 25 to go. Corey Heim did get around Tanner Gray finally when we were in break, so he moves up 1 spot into 4th.
And that's the way it goes sometimes here at Bristol. You just, everybody, when the top and the bottom are really working and you've got multiple grooves and things get spread out a little bit, the laps just click off. I mean, you look up right here and there's 23 laps to go. They fly by pretty quick.
I like looking at the playoff leaderboard as they run, how things change so quickly throughout the race. And yeah, the one I probably feel for the most right now is Jake Garcia, right? Really fast truck in that 13, and you know, wins the first stage, so he's able to get something out of today, but he's running 33rd right now because of the issues they had, the mechanical issues they've had. So it's tough. Same thing for Chandler Smith.
And that's why it's so important to get those stage points. And when you get those opportunities, and because it takes a horrific day and makes it a bad day. It takes a bad day and makes it a decent, you know what I mean?
He's still in the hunt, right? He's going to leave here tonight and still have a chance to point his way in.
As the leader crosses the line, we've reached our 20 laps to go, thanks to Craftsman. Remember, he was leading late last week, guys. Last race at Darlington, had that right front issue. Had to come down pit road after dominating the race.
And this is the point of the run where things like that happen, right? It's a lot of laps on these trucks, on these tires. They didn't run this long in practice. They don't know, right? And you sometimes see, you know, trucks that are using too much brake possibly can overheat and blow a bead on the right front tire, or trucks that just get down to the cords and maybe blow a tire. You don't know exactly what's going to happen, but we've seen that happen at Bristol. You get these long runs, everything looks like okay, everything's pretty calm, and then next thing you know, you get a late race caution. It changes it all up.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of brake rotors glowing, and we know the fact that these tires are going to go until they get to the cord, and then it's like falling off of a cliff as far as the fall off in the truck that makes the thing go angry and quit handling.
Corey Heim taking a look to the inside of Ty Majeski for 3rd.
You see him trying to just go to a different lane, right? It's the thing you can't do is just follow him. You might as well go somewhere different, trying to make a run, and that's what you see Corey Heim doing. Just, all right, you take the top, I'll take the bottom. You want to switch it up, we'll go the other way. It's just, all right, I'll try the top this time. And you see those trucks in front of him, and just making sure you're in a different lane than the truck you're trying to pass is going to give you opportunity, and here we go.
That truck ahead of him, the 18 at Tyler Ankrum. He had gone around earlier.
Oh, look at this run.
All the way down on the apron right there.
Ankrum a lap down, moves over. This battle for 3rd continues.
And that's where that lap traffic opened up this opportunity for Corey Heim to be able to even have a chance to make the pass. I don't think he's going to finish it, though.
Yeah, still a tough one, right? When you're still side by side after you cleared the trucks, you're gonna, man, I didn't get it done.
Kevin, earlier in practice, we were talking about the Riggs name and how good Lane Riggs' dad was here. How many wins in the Truck Series, Xfinity Series?
Yeah, and, you know, I think when you look back at Scott Riggs and his career and being able to, you know, come back to these racetracks with Lane and be able to help him through this process. He's always been a huge part of Lane's racing career. We were fortunate to have Lane drive our late model stock there for a few times when we were first starting our late model stock team at KHI. So he helped us get that going, and Scott was always there. He's in there working on the cars. He's in there giving his opinion and feedback. And so listening to Scott and Lane and listening to their past and the relationship that they've had with their racing you know, career together, it's really fun, you know, to see that go from one generation to the next. But Scott Riggs, obviously a successful racer in the Xfinity Series and the Truck Series.
And he's helped his son a lot. Lane gives him a lot of credit. He came out here last year. Lane was the winner of this race a year ago. And he said, now that I'm in the playoffs, things are good. My dad can just be a dad. He doesn't have to worry about what's under the hood or what I'm doing. He can just be there. His dad is fit. Scott looks like he can jump in a truck and go out and race with the best of them right now.
I can imagine that's hard to do, right? As a racer, you've been in the car before, you know what's going on, you want to help, but you also want to be a dad.
Yeah.
And like, that's I could imagine. Kevin, you probably know a lot more about it than I do.
His son's
That's
13,
gotta be really
kicking his
hard.
butt.
Yeah, it's fun though. Yeah, and I'll tell you the same thing I tell him. It's so fun to go to the racetrack and watch the passion and love that people have for the sport at a young age. And when you're at those short tracks and you're able to have that interaction with whether it's Keelan or some of the other kids, Lane Riggs, whoever it is that you get to see, they're there with a passion and a fire and the love of the sport. So it's fun to be able to see all that stuff come full circle. But to be dad at the racetrack is difficult.
I could imagine. You see, these guys are going to battle it out. Corey Himes able to get past Ty Majeski with a couple to go.
Got to the top.
Yep.
Moves into third. Ben Rhodes still hanging on to second there. Lane Riggs, though, about a 2.5 second lead out front with 3 laps to go. I love Lane's attitude, though. That's half the battle, right? He doesn't come in here nervous. He just comes in here confident. He loves his team. Yes, Kevin, he loves what trucks he's getting. Dylan Capello, his crew chief, got married last week. He was there celebrating with them, and what a moment this is going to be. Final lap at Bristol Motor Speedway. Lane Riggs looking for the checkered flag for the 3rd time this season off of turn 4. He does it. Lane Riggs wins it at Bristol Motor Speedway. What a drive. He does it from the back of the pack.
Awesome job, pit crew. So proud of you boys.
Yeah, he did a great job. Very eventful, right? And I like how we say how calm he was and all this stuff, but he made some pretty aggressive moves, whether it was lap 1, starting the second stage, making that big 3 white top move that gained the track position. One bit him, one paid pretty good reward, and here he is taking the checker flag.
Yeah, and
you got to risk it to get the biscuit, right, Kevin?
That's right. And I think when you listen to him before the race, I mean, he was very confident in his truck and the speed that it had in it. And you know, the thing that I've noticed about this team is not only Lane's confidence, but hearing him talk about Dylan Capello and his relationship with his crew chief, recently married, you know, since the last race, and you know, having that confidence and chemistry within the team this time of year and seeing all that mesh together, that's really when things, those details that we talked about, start to shine, and you're able to get everything out of it.
Well, he was Rookie of the Year in the Truck Series last year, found his way to victory lane a couple of times, and now he's doing it again. A 3-time winner and a 2-time winner at Bristol.
His crew chief gets behind the wheel every once in a while too. Raced with him in Hickory Motor Speedway, so it's always interesting to have a crew chief that can actually drive and be able to relate to what you do. You get to.
I do with Paul Wolf. He was
Paul.
a driver. Yeah, it's nice to have that, right? Because so many times as a race car driver, you are trying to just explain what you're feeling. And if you've never been in the car before, it's really hard to explain a lot of these little nuances that a car can be like. And if you're a crew chief and you can hear that from your driver, I just feel like your adjustments have got to be better, right? I mean, it's one thing, you got to have, you know, the brains, and you got to be able to make good calls on the box, but you got to have that relationship, and you got to be able to understand what your driver's saying. And it seems like this 34 team has that, and they're capitalizing on it right now.
And they're a young team. You saw the pit crew, they're young. Dylan Capello is a young guy. Lane Riggs, 23 years old. Lane's got to be becoming a fan favorite.
He's grabbing gears on the burnout. He's going to go to those things pop, I think. That might have been it.
Well, he's definitely done burnouts in just about every part of the racetrack now, so.
He is celebrating all over this place. And for good reason to celebrate, not just a win tonight. He punches his ticket to the round of 8. We go to Loudon, New Hampshire next week. That'll be the 3rd and final race of the 1st round. Lane told us this first round of the playoffs, he could not wait. He was dominant at Darlington, came up short tonight, gets it done. What a drive.
We've seen a lot of accidents on the side of the car. Saw Lane throw his shoulder out last year on the top of the car, so I'm glad to see him get down.
We were both thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
We just didn't say it. I was like, careful.
Yeah.
He dislocated his shoulder when he celebrated, had to get surgery in the off season. He's all good to go now. He's apologizing for burning it down.
Never apologize for a good burnout, man. It's always cool.
Caitlin Vinci is with our winner.
Well, the elation is evident from the team. Getting a hug there from his girlfriend as well. Lane, this race started out pretty eventful for you, but you did not quit. How is this a testament to the strength of you and your team getting this victory here at Bristol tonight?
You don't get 2 mulligans in the playoffs, and I got 2, so not sure what happened on the initial start with the 7. I felt like I was there pretty good, and man, just the first lap of the race just spin out. It's a blow to confidence for sure, but I got faith in this team. I got faith in everybody here. Thank you to all the fans, by the way. Y'all are great. Thank you for the energy. Just got to thank Lowe's Travel Stops, Ford Racing. Man, y'all are awesome. Y'all are loud. Oh my gosh. Man, this is yeah, thank you to Peak, just everybody involved. Man, these guys are going crazy. Oh my God. Woo! Come on, baby. Let's get it, Bristol! Woo!
And Lane, you are officially in the next round of the playoffs. How rewarding is that? Everything you've gone through in your career, and you are now moving on to continue this hunt for a title.
I think that just shows that we're right there. We're in contention. We can do it. And these guys right here don't give up. I don't give up. And, man, that's 3 in a row at Bristol Motor Speedway for Front Row Motorsports. So, like I said, big testament to all these guys. We got a really good package here. And, man, I'm excited for New Hampshire. I've never even been there, and I already love that racetrack. So, man, bring the playoffs on. Bring them on.
Congratulations. Enjoy this one. Lane Riggs, 3 wins on the year. Winner here at Bristol tonight. Jamie.
Thank you, Caitlin. See the personality, it's just infectious. I love it. I've never been to New Hampshire, but I already love the place.
Well, they don't have the pressure on him anymore, so of course he's going to love going there. What a great job tonight.
He celebrates with the fans. 3rd win of the season, 5th of his career. We'll be back after this. Second race of the playoffs is in the books. Lane Riggs celebrating. Only 2 drivers have officially punched their ticket to the round of 8. He keeps going back and forth to the fans, gave his flag away, autographed it. Just going to stay out there a while, Joey.
I wonder if he's got any tires to get to victory lane. It probably got to change his tires.
Oh, for sure.
Here's a look at our playoff leaderboard as we head into the 3rd race of the playoffs in New Hampshire. You see the 2 highlighted in yellow. They have advanced. But the guys on the outside looking in didn't see this happening at the start of the race. Jake Garcia, 14 out. Chandler Smith, 24.
Yeah, and we talk about Chandler Smith the last couple weeks. Last week a mistake, this week, or last race mistake, this week mechanical issue. Jake Garcia, mechanical issue. Todd Bodine told us that the crankshaft bolt broke off and they had to put all new belts and pulley on the crankshaft. So that was a tough break for Jake, but he had a great truck tonight. He scored some stage points, so that 14 could have been 24 really easily.
He is celebrating with every fan that's willing to come down and say congrats. They're offering him beer.
I'd have taken the beer.
You've done that a time or 2.
Absolutely.
You had a great sponsor for that.
Those are the advantages of having Busch Light as a sponsor.
We need
tires.
Yeah. Probably changing the tire for him here.
He did apologize to his car chief having to do this. Well, what a night. Looking forward to the rest of the playoffs. So glad that you were with us on this rare Thursday night of action. Next race coming up next Saturday, New Hampshire, 12 Eastern on FS1. Joey Logano, Kevin Harvick, thanks so much for being with us tonight, guys.
Thank you. I had a blast. Really cool race. A lot of fun to watch. Looking forward to being there tomorrow.
Yes, good luck this weekend, especially
Have fun this weekend.
On Saturday from Bristol. Congratulations, Lane Riggs gets it done from Bristol. He is moving on. So long.
Eliminate competition like a dinner plate. I'm what makes a winner great. I invigorate. You buckle down and disintegrate. You feel me? Coming through with that weak sauce. You weak boss. Don't wanna take a week off. I stand tall and confident. You ain't hot as me. You don't stand at all. You a mockery. I am on the rise. I was told only the strong survive. The difference between y'all and I. Without wings, I was born to fly. Get your game face on. Get your game face on. Get your game face on. 'Cause I'm coming to play, boy.
This copyrighted telecast